So have you ever asked yourself the question, is this my spirit guide talking to me, or am I just making this up? Are these divine messages coming through from a greater wisdom, or am I just thinking up BS in my own head? My mind playing tricks on me? Or maybe you've been on your spiritual journey for years and years and you still sometimes question yourselves, because that's pretty normal. That's pretty human. Maybe you find yourself struggling right now to hear messages, to get connected again, or to understand what is the mind and what is actually wisdom or spirit guides or God, the universe coming through, speaking to you through your intuition or just knowings or signs and synchronicities. The fact that you are even asking that question, I want you to realize that you are showing signs of intuition in yourself. The fact that you question it shows your spiritual maturity, because those who don't question it, who think that they just know everything, actually know nothing at all. So in this video, I'm going to ease your nervous system and break down for you the science-based psychology and a little bit of a magical, mystical side of communicating with spirit guides, universe, synchronicities, and how that interacts with your mind, body, and spirit. So you know when you receive a message and you don't have to second guess yourself. So let's dive into the video. Let me grab my caffeine. I'm so full of health, guys. Oh my gosh. It's all about the intention of what you consume, right? Energy. Let's go. To first start off with, guys, I want you to know that it's not just as simple as what is real and what is fake, okay? You guys know reality is not simple. It's not black and white. It is fluid. We are energy, right? Here's the thing most people don't understand. It's because everything is connected. Everything you experience is you on some level of reality and form of consciousness, okay? So the big frame I want you to understand before we dive deeper into this video is everything is connected. You are connected to all that is, which means you ultimately don't make anything up, which also means that there is a level of reality and frequency to whatever you're channeling through, whatever you're connected to, whatever you're thinking, whatever kind of voice is going on in your head. You are literally connected to something, okay? So no matter what, whether that be what you think is your own thoughts, what you think is a spirit guide, what you think is a lower level entity, they're all what you tell it to be. And you're assigning basically what you're communicating with. Let me see if I can rephrase that. Whatever you believe that you're connected to is going to be what you're connected to, because everything on a certain level is a form of consciousness. It's a form of energy, and the level in which it manifests real for you is the level of energy you're going to feed it, which is your consciousness, your attention, and the level of belief that you have in it. When we speak about intuition, when we speak about spirit guides, or that inner voice, your higher self, God, the universe, ego versus fear, you know, stuff like that, they're all basically different levels of frequency. It's all God. It's all under this one big umbrella, but they're just different levels of thoughts and emotions, feelings. And dependent upon what is coming through and dependent upon the logic you're assigning it will be what you are telling yourself is a spirit guide assigned to a certain feeling that you're feeling. It will be what as you're assigning logic to an entity based upon what you're feeling. It's you deciding. Most people can only tap into certain levels of thought, emotions, frequencies, we'll call them timelines essentially, or tap into different levels of wavelengths to connect to that information, that spirit guides per se, intuition, whatever you want to call it. You can only tap into the level at which you are, I want to say spiritually capable of, but to the level at which you can expand your consciousness, to the level at which whatever frequencies that you are allowing yourself to feel, even the higher aspects of, you know, we'll say love, you can only experience the amount of love in which you have experienced up to that point until something comes along and you have an experience in which you have greater states of said thing. So it's kind of where you have to do the inner work to have greater conscious expansion, to connect to these greater frequencies, to be even in the awareness that they even exist. You have to raise your frequency. So you have to do the work to be able to raise yourself up to connect to higher aspects of yourself, or spirit guides, or intuition, or whatever you want to call it. And most people don't do that, right? They don't understand that to get to those higher levels of wisdom and knowledge, you have to do the inner work and drop lower level frequencies to be able to rise higher. So how this works is, I want you to picture your brain like an antenna. It is the antenna, and your intuition is like the broadcasting radio. It sends out the signal to what you want to connect to with every thought. You are connecting to some level of a wavelength, a reality, and it's bringing forth information for you to channel here and for you to create with here. So whatever thought that you are broadcasting out, your intention, you're going to connect to a timeline that has that reality of that thought, and you're going to manifest with that energy here, because it's going to channel to you. So it comes to you in the form of like that narrator voice. The brain's job is just to read energy. So that's literally what that voice is doing. Not you. You are the observer of that voice. So that's where you're going to see the separation of where meditation will come in and help you. When you can observe that voice just keeping on running and playing out energy, that's really what it's doing. It's reading a timeline that you're tapped into. It's reading a wavelength based upon your thoughts and your emotions. And typically, humans keep the same thoughts and emotions on repeat in their body and in their mind, always on the same timeline, manifesting the same reality, because you have to do something consciously to disrupt the pattern, to connect to something different, to connect to different spirit guides, to connect to higher intuition, to have a higher vision of yourself, your higher self. There is the highest version of yourself. It does exist, but you won't consciously be aware of it unless you raise yourself higher to then tap into that timeline, right? This sea of energy, all these frequencies where the brain is like broadcasting its signal, that's what the physicists call the quantum field. And it's the endless possibilities that can exist of energy, because what energy is, guys, it's atoms and electrons. It's some form of electricity, or energy basically vibrating at a certain level of frequency, and it is your conscious awareness of it, of that reality, that collapses that timeline, that crystallizes it into physical form. So you literally have to be able to be conscious and aware of the timeline, or of the idea, of the thoughts, of the emotions, to collapse it into physical form. And the longer you hold the idea of that timeline, the more likely what you want will be collapsed in physical form. Most people just change thoughts so frequently, or they believe they can't have something where it shifts them off that timeline and they can't collapse it. Now that you have an understanding of what energy is, your consciousness, how it manifests physical form, what you're connecting to on different wavelengths, let's go into what spirit guides actually are without the woo-woo, the panic, all that stuff. Spirit guides, like I said, they are an aspect of you. They do not exist outside of yourself. They are not another entity. They are not something that you can't control. Even though some people, if we talk about entities, they think that they get possessed, something, that's another video, but it's ultimately you believing that something has power over you. And it's the same with spirit guides. When you send out the signal with your brain to connect to your spirit guide, you're gonna connect to your spirit guide. They exist because you're tuning into the reality in which they do exist. You're creating that reality for yourself because you're setting the intention that you want to experience this. This is where we are the creator, basically co-creating with the higher aspect of ourselves, or the energy, because you're setting the intention to do something, and you're sitting down in physical reality, setting the intention, doing something to connect, which most of the time people will do some form of a ritual. They'll sit in meditation, they might journal, they might do something of that nature to kind of put some power behind the belief, or put, some kind of ritual to what they're doing to bring it into existence, to make them believe, or for it to be easier to connect to this thing, to believe that they are connected to this thing, so then that they can get whatever information that they're trying to come through, the reason why you are connecting, Most people try to connect for answers, higher wisdom, maybe just out of curiosity. I've literally connected and just been like, give me a sign, any sign, you know, do something in this physical world. That's basically what happens with this. Yes, guys, I am going to get a little woo-woo on here because this is just not all thought form as well too. If you raise your vibration high enough, and I know people have done this before because I can do it, or have done it, haven't done it in a while, you can see light beings. You can see higher beings when you tap into those fields. They don't look, at least for me, they don't look like physical form, because the higher that you go up, guys, where these beings are at, the less physical form exists. So they're mainly like energy, essentially. It's like a light shape or something like that, like, you know, where people see geometric shapes or things like that, and then you look at something and then you just, it's an automatic recognition of what it is, because you're communicating with energy back and forth. You don't see it, right? You don't see it. And because, you know, even when we connect to these things in the higher realms, when we second guess ourselves, like, yes, that's the reality we're going to create. But you ultimately have to understand that since this all is the mind of God, everything exists at some level of frequency, like I said. So when you're sending out that signal and connecting to it, and you're getting information coming through, it is legit information. And you can't see it. It's just because you can't see the signal doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I mean, it's like you turn on a TV, guys. You turn on the remote and you don't see the signal from the remote go to the TV, but you see the TV turn on. It's the same thing with our intention. We send it out, we are going to get something back. Just in reality, what we want to get back most of the time is of higher wisdom, and that's how you know you're connected to your guides. The information is new, the energy feels different, you might feel elevated, you might feel a deeper sense of love, a connection of clarity, of wisdom coming through. You feel something different in you that you did not feel before, even if it's just a subtle shift, okay? This is where your presence is important, because you have to be present in your body in the moment and setting the intention and focused on what you're thinking, what you're feeling, how your body is responding, right? The thoughts coming through, the images maybe being presented to you in your mind's third eye, like imagination. That's all communication. That's all through your five senses, elevated to your sixth sense, which is your basically psychic abilities, is how they're going to communicate with you. It's psychic abilities isn't anything special, guys. It's your five senses. It's how we experience the energetic realm, and how this body is a bridge between the physical and the non. My next point is the difference between what is the ego and what is your spirit guides is basically what feels different as far as your thoughts, your emotions. That will be how you can tell, because we have on repeat basically in our mind loops. We're thinking ourselves into existence constantly, and with every new thought, we kind of change our self-identity or change our self-perception, and we change the energy in our body. Just most of the time, if we think something different of ourselves, it doesn't really stick. We always kind of go back to our base programming, which is where people keep manifesting the same reality, because they have the same thoughts, actions, and feelings on repeat. They never break the pattern. So when you have new energy coming in, say from your spirit guide, this is how they help you, that you get introduced to new energies, new ways of thinking, new ways of feeling, new ideas coming in, right? So it's an elevation of energy. So that means that spirit guide's energy is helping you manifest a new reality. Even to say that maybe your frequency isn't as high as, you know, an angel or something like that, but because you set the intention and you're willing to work with the angel, right? This is where the universe will not do, or God will not do what you will not do for yourself, because you set the intention. It will tap into that to help you, to bring forth the energy to help you. but you ultimately have to be the one to do the work with that energy. Meaning, yes, you will feel the difference. You will feel the elevation. You will feel the bliss, the joy, the love, all the ideas, all the creativity, all the flow, all the wisdom and nuggets of knowledge, all the interactions and signs and synchronicities. You will be tapped into it. There won't be a second guessing of it because you will feel different, right? And it's that level of belief too. You want to pay attention because you have to be present to be able to consciously feel the shift, to consciously connect, right? If you're unconscious with it, then your actions are going to be unconscious and you're not going to manifest with this for very long because it's not a familiar vibration to the body. You have to take action with it for it to be ingrained into the body, for then it to become who you are, to change your self-perception, to then have that spirit guide's energy be a part of your field permanently because you want to ingrain it into the body. And the only way to do that is to take physical action in the physical realm because we are physical. Whole point. Otherwise, you can connect to this thing all day and you can play imagination in your head with the frequency and the energy and be happy-go-lucky and just, imagine it, but it just be that. That's it. It's just imagination. It's not going to be physical. That's where it's like a dream versus a goal. So how to know what you're tapping into is what exactly you want to tap into. Like I said before, it's all about the power of your belief and you believing that you're tapping into what it exactly is that you want to. But you're going to really want to pay attention to the way that you feel. The mind does like to play tricks, guys. And that's where the body is the key. The body is the truth because your feelings are not going to lie to you. The way in which you feel about something, of what you're connected to, is your energy signature interacting with another energy signature. And if it feels good for you, if that idea, if that thought, or if the communication feels very good for you, feels elevating, feels loving, if your body feels relaxed, it feels peaceful, the tension's going away, it feels very healing, things like that, that your nervous system is basically calm. So you want to pay attention to those things, and that's going to be the key to create that reality. Your body's going to feel that way when you create, right? Or that's the idea of the reality you want to create, or the spirit guide that you're connected to, that energy, you want to bring it here and create with that. So then you have a reality that makes your body feel that way. So the whole idea is you want to train your body to be able to recognize that energy and create with it here to manifest a reality with that energy that feels good for you, right? That's the whole point of ingraining that energy in the body and taking action with it. Eventually it will just become part of you. But that's how you know it's a higher wisdom, higher spirit guide, because it feels different than what you currently feel normally. You'll probably feel a shift in energy. Your reality will probably look a little wonky, a little like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like disassociation, because you probably are tapping into another timeline. That is a sign of it, is when reality seems kind of fake, because you are shifting into another timeline. You're shifting into some other world or reality that you would like to manifest ideally. If it feels good, even if it feels good, it's going to cause a shift in the way that you think, act, and feel, and it's going to probably be a little intimidating to the ego, even if it is good. But reality is going to look and feel a little wonky for just a little bit, and that is your body getting adjusted, your energy getting adjusted to the new reality you are creating. So there will be a little bit of a time where it's going to be just a little weird for a little bit, because guys, our bodies recognize energy because they are the subconscious, they are the intelligence, they are the keeper of the intelligent wisdom that basically our conscious mind likes to have a delay with for some reason. We don't like to tap into it unless we consciously decide to. So it'll be probably a little bit of a lag before you consciously realize what is going on. The question really isn't, am I tapping into my spirit guide? Am I not tapping into my spirit guide? Am I making it up? The real question is, what frequency am I tapping into? What timeline am I tapping into? And what am I telling myself that I'm tapping into? And do I believe it or not, right? Even if you're tapping into higher wisdom and knowledge, and it's still like, you're experiencing all the love and all the newness and even a reality shift, if later on you tell yourself that's BS, it's going to be BS, and you're going to lose that timeline and drop from it, and then you're not going to manifest it, right? It's all about the power of your belief and what you are tapping into and what you are manifesting, essentially. That is the whole key in this thing, is your belief. Your belief and what you're thinking, acting, seeing, feeling, whatever, okay? It's all about your faith, okay? And it's those times where we really, really, really question ourselves. We really have to tap into faith, even if we're not sure 100%. If you just leap forward with faith, and even if you're not believing in yourself, okay, because faith is a belief in yourself to achieve whatever it is, or to do whatever it is you need to do to manifest or achieve whatever. If you cannot believe in yourself enough, put your faith in God. Put your faith in God. Scrap the freaking spirit guides. Go straight to source. We all know that thing exists, right? Because we're here. So just go straight to the Almighty and put your faith there, okay? And just watch what happens. You will be rewarded. Those who walk forward in faith and their knowing will be greatly rewarded by God. Especially in the times when you didn't believe, when you just took the leap and there was no rhyme or reason or evidence, when you wanted to give up. Kind of went off topic there. I hope that helped you guys understand you're not making it up. You don't ever make anything up. This is what life is. This is what we are. We don't really think about it like that. We are just so boxed into this reality that basically society has created. So it's kind of just breaking free and coming back home to yourself and having the discernment to choose what is in alignment with you and what isn't in alignment with you, and what you're thinking, acting, seeing, feeling. And that is to say the message is coming through to you. So the more that you do this, guys, and the more that you tap in, work with your spirit guides, the more you get in alignment with their frequency and familiar with their frequency, the more that you won't even need to set the intention. You'll just feel them come in. They'll just always be around. You'll be communicating with them constantly. They'll grab your attention. They'll have certain signs that you'll like associate something with them. Like say you see a feather on the ground, that's maybe your grandmother coming through or something like that. You've assigned a feather to her, and you just know every time that that's her coming through. And so you stop and you kind of just think and just see, what am I thinking, feeling, what's going on in my reality right now? What do I need to pay attention to? Because obviously a sign just popped in. That's where you kind of use your level of discernment, and you get to trust it the more that you work with these guides, or work with God, the source. And the only way to work with it is to be conscious of what you're doing, and to set the intention and to take action of it, and then for that action to produce some form of a result that then reassures or reaffirms that what you were thinking, or the intuition coming through. That's the only way to build intuition, is to act on intuition and then see the reality play out, right? It's the only way to build the belief. And ultimately, guys, if you know how the brain works and you believe something, truly believe it, the brain will manifest a reality to prove that belief true. It just might not be how you think it should manifest, but eventually you will manifest a reality with the brain showing you the breadcrumbs. But you have to take the breadcrumbs to keep building up the faith and keep going consciously. Don't just mosey through life. That's what kind of intuition is, but it's moseying with feeling, not just unconsciously. It's more of the feeling that you're going with, and you're kind of throwing logic out the window, and sometimes that's not always good. You have to have a balance. Anyway, hopefully this video helped you guys. I think it's a little longer than what I anticipated. I'm running out of sunlight here, so enjoy my apartment, the vibes back there. I love me some lights. Hope you enjoyed that. It's a Halloween tree. I have pumpkins and skeletons in there too, and hearts, because that is what my heart is full of. Darkness and love. Anyway, I don't know why I'm still holding up my arm. Sending you guys all my light and all my love. Satnam.